Village Board meeting to order, September 9th, 2024, and we need a roll call.
Anastasio.
Here.
Bhatia.
Here.
Washburn.
Here.
Karas.
Here.
Venturini.
Here.
DeGroot.
He's here. Trustee Doxey is excused. So let's rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, the next item on the agenda is a presentation from the Racine County Economic Development Corporation, the mid-year community presentation, and we're visited by Jordan and Jenny.
Hello? Okay. Hi, thank you very much. My name is Jordan Brown. I'm with the Racine County Economic Development Corporation, and today we're joined with our Executive Director, Jenny Trick, as well. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to update you on our activities for the first part of 2024, as well as recap a little bit about what we do as an organization and how we help the community. So just briefly, our strategic focus and what our plan is we operate in three different realms. So business attraction, which is what I primarily do. Basically, what we try to do is attract new development or expanding businesses with the goal of increasing the tax base and promoting job growth. We also have business expansion and entrepreneurship. This is a newer program that we were tackling this year. Basically, a proactive call program, reaching out to businesses, facilitating expansions with technical and financial assistance. And also, we just launched the Biz Starts Racine, which is something I'll cover in a little bit more detail later, but our first activity with that was last Thursday. So basically, when should you call us? So we have access to loans and grants and incentives from local communities, the county, as well as we can connect you with state resources as well. Also, finding sites inside of Racine County and navigating project approval and entitlements. That's something I kind of specialize in, doing a lot of site selection with that. Also, connections to entrepreneurship partners and other resources. We also have different tools that you can access as well too, with Racine County and trying to attract talent to the area as well. And data. So we're a very data-focused organization. So any sort of demographic information, economic activity data, and things like that is one of the things that you can use us as a resource for. So just briefly, some of our mid-year outcomes so far. Typically, the first part of the year it tends to be a little bit slower than the second, but we are on track to make a lot of our goals. Basically, we have our business is assisted, so we're at 47% of our goal with that. Total private investment is down a little bit, but hopefully I think we'll get that up by the end of the year. Total construction investment is also at about 33% of what our goal is. And total jobs created, we're at 42%, and the number of disadvantaged businesses that we are helping, so we track that, is at 42%. We have a pretty even distribution of projects throughout the county, from all the way to the west side in Burlington to all the way to the city of Racine on the lake. As you can see here, Mount Pleasant has 3 successful projects so far this year. And just briefly, I want to talk about our business recruitment trends. So the industrial vacancy rate in the region is 5.8%, but in Racine County, it's 8.8%. I actually think that this is actually a positive thing for Racine County in general, whereas the vacancy rates in Northern Illinois and Milwaukee County, Waukesha County, places like that, there is no available space. So when businesses want to locate in southeastern Wisconsin, they're pretty much stuck with having to consider Racine County because we have the inventory, the Class A development, and because of this, we can also offer a speed to delivery, which is really one of the top priorities in site selection these days. Also, we're seeing a lot of smaller projects right now, especially absorbing space in Caledonia and the village of Mount Pleasant. There is a slow deal flow right now. A lot of that is due to the presidential election, the elections in general, as well as the cost of capital and interest rates. But with that, we're being very proactive in what we're doing and working with our partners at WEDC and M7 to work collaboratively and trying to attract as much business and activity to southeastern Wisconsin, Racine County in general. One of the most exciting projects that we've had this year is Saputo Cheese. And this was a business recruitment activity. They're located in the village of Caledonia. This is going to be a 300,000 square foot building, 120 jobs associated with this, and then also $59 million in capital investment. This company took advantage of the Racine County High Impact Loan Fund, which is a loan that myself and Laura manage. This is oftentimes presented in a forgivable loan scenario. If they meet their job metrics, it can be forgiven. And this loan was for $500,000 for this project. Some of our business expansion outcomes that we're working with, we've had 280 outreach meetings, 28 loans, grants, and incentives approved, $3.1 million in loans and grants approved, and $7 million in private investment. So business retention is another area of our organization. This is primarily done with Laura Million, but we overlap on all of our projects, recruitment and retention. Some of the trends associated with business retention in 2024, our expansions continue to be approached cautiously due to economic uncertainty and interest rates, which kind of mentioned before. Some of the industries that are thriving, while others are feeling some of the economic slowdown. We really have a lot of interest in alternative energy and energy storage is really where we're seeing a lot of activity right now. Also, highly leveraged companies are really seeing stressed cash flow, and it's kind of a pinch point right now for any projects going forward. One of the very most important things that we do, and one of the biggest issues facing industries today, is talent. So some of the highlights and trends is we completed a digital campaign with WEDC grant support. 41,480 users accessed the GRC website. New opportunities with WEDC's talent campaign. RCEDC served as a Wisconsin ambassador for this program. And RCEDC has the highest number of introductions from WEDC to RCEDC. So getting to Mount Pleasant specifically, and some of the projects that we've worked on, we have a matching grant program which is used for marketing and training, and many of the companies inside of the village of Mount Pleasant have taken advantage of this. Some examples are Ying's Kitchen, Brown Family Chiropractic, and Big City Barbecue. Ying's Kitchen used the $5,000 in grant money for social media promotion. Brown Family Chiropractic used it to update their website. And Big City Barbecue hired a business consultant for their marketing. Also, we continue to support the village of Mount Pleasant in their housing developments. The village is also, and businesses inside the village have had 16 assists. That's oftentimes data and small business resources, and we currently have 18 additional prospects in the pipeline for the village of Mount Pleasant. So what should we watch going forward in 2024 and also in 2025 and the years ahead? Obviously, the Microsoft project, which I'm sure everyone here is very well aware of, and what the regional impact is. I don't need to go through all the numbers because I know you're very well aware of all of the activities associated with it, but it really has been a game changer in the way that we are perceived as a community, and also a great way to get attention not only locally, regionally, but actually nationally. When I go meet with site selectors at national conferences, they bring this up, and it's very much on their radar. Another key important issue is the housing market. We can have all of the industrial and business growth we want, but we need to have people that are able to work there and people that want to live in the community. So some of the highlights and trends is Racine and Kenosha continues to be the lowest amount of available housing inventory among the 72 counties inside the state of Wisconsin. Since 2019, Racine County's housing prices have increased 32.7%. And single-family construction costs are up 37%, and multifamily is up 38%. With that being said, something I'm very excited about, because I get asked these questions about housing all the time, is a new housing study. So the first, the first housing study was in 2019, And Racine County and it came to the conclusion that Racine County could absorb 890 units per year over 5 years. Since then, we've had 4,000 units being added to Racine County. Right now, we're updating the housing study, and it should be out in October of 2024. This is sponsored by Racine County, Wisconsin, and the South Shore Realtors Association, as well as our organization, RCEDC. So, as I mentioned, one of the new programs that we're very excited about and that Jenny has worked very, very hard on is Biz Starts in Racine County. This program is a way for entrepreneurs and small business owners to basically do coursework in trying to make their business as successful as possible. There's a manual, and courses meet every Thursday, and it's a great way for people to get resources, work collaboratively, as well as make sure that they're doing the right things to make businesses successful. So with that being said, where we need our help from our communities is share our Biz Starts Racine program and possibly volunteer to be a mentor if you're so interested. The more people that we have involved in the program, the higher the success rate, and it creates a great community atmosphere. And also connect business owners and entrepreneurs to RCDC for the second cohort, which will be in the spring of 2025. So if you know of any small business owners or entrepreneurs that would benefit from this program, please feel free to share this and put them in connection with our organization so they can take advantage of these resources. And with that being said, that concludes my presentation, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Anybody got thoughts for Jordan?
I have a question on the Small Business Administration organization.
Yeah.
Do you work with them, or
He-
it seems like there's overlap, kind of?
Yeah, so we are an SBA 504 lender.
Oh.
So we're one of two in the state of Wisconsin, and we lend throughout the entire state, not just inside of Racine County. So we work very closely with them, and I'm sure Jenny can tell you all about the audits and working through that process. But we are partnered with them, and we do offer their products, and that's one of our key activities. Now, they're run through our finance division, which is actually called Business Lending Partners. It's just a trade name because we do lend all over the state. So when we say Racine County, we don't want to limit that. But they are, Business Lending Partners is RCEDC, and we do SBA 504 loans.
Jordan?
Yeah.
Can you speak a little bit to you mentioned for Mount Pleasant, you're talking to approximately 18 prospects.
Yes.
I understand there's a lot of confidentiality, but can you give us any idea, small business, medium business, retail?
So it runs all the way through everything, but where I primarily focus is going to be on the larger industrial projects. And we see a lot of, and just as I mentioned, because we have the inventory with Ashley Capital's development in Mount Pleasant and the old 901 Renaissance building that has now been vacant for about a year, we're able to get this activity because we do have the inventory and the ability to accommodate these businesses. But yeah, it goes everywhere from these small businesses that we mentioned that took advantage of the matching grant program to very large, heavy industrial and technology-focused companies, which I appreciate. It's good to have a mix. So we're not just focusing on one thing specifically, and we want to make sure that we're able to foster a healthy economic business-friendly ecosystem across the board from small business to large industrial companies.
Thank you.
I imagine you guys have been, over the past number of years, working with M7 much more than you'd ever anticipated.
Yeah, it's actually fantastic, and I mentioned this in our slides. I'm really making it a priority of mine to make sure that from my activities locally to M7 regionally to the state, that we're all working together and basically sending the same message. So we're not, many other communities in many other states don't necessarily work well together like we do. And I want to make sure that we're able to promote that and show that as an asset when people come in from outside of the region and want to do business here. So our partnership with the Milwaukee 7 and WEDC, I think, is stronger than it has ever been. And I just really look forward to continue growing that relationship.
Well, the proof is pretty obvious that you can deliver the goods, and we very much appreciate that. You've made, your contributions to our community, have made, obvious visual, lasting impression, and it's just, you just continue to do good things for us and with us. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Okay. Did Jenny want to add anything, or are we good?
She's just here for emotional support. I'm
Okay.
fragile.
Thank you very much, Jordan.
Thank you.
Let's move on to public comment. We've, members of the public are welcome to provide comments on any matter. Please listen to the president to recognize you. State your name and address for public record. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. Have nobody signed up for public comment? Nobody in the chambers is raising their hands. Going once, going twice. So with that, we can close public comment, and we'll move on to the consent agenda.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve the items on the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
So I hear a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So that motion carries. And let's jump down to community development. We've got discussion and possible motion to approve Budget Resolution 18-2024, amending Resolution 36-2023, adopting the 2024 budget for the Parks Fund to transfer $50,000 for parks tree replacement.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve Budget Resolution 18-2024, amending Resolution 36-2024, adopting the 2024 budget for the Parks Fund to transfer $50,000 for parks tree replacement.
Second.
So I hear a motion and a second. Mr. Schultz, is this your thing?
It is. This is an amendment to allow us to go after a state grant for tree replacement and inventory and some other work that we'd like to do regarding both public street trees in the rights-of-way as well as our public parks. So this would cover the entire amount of the contract and allows us to go after a matching grant, so we can show that we budgeted the full amount, but if we get a matching grant, the remaining funds would just fall back to the Parks General Fund. So the state will fund up to 50% of the project, up to $50,000. So we're asking for the full thing, and we'll report back if we get the grant or not and for how much that is.
Board members will remember that we heard this at a previous COW meeting, and in order to apply for the grant, we had to show that we had the money ready, willing, and able, and therefore the budget transfer means that we've got it in the right bucket.
That's the way a lot of those grants work, so it's kind of a pay-as-you-go thing. Only
Just
a
like
grant.
anything else.
A pay-as-you-grant.
Just like anything else, to make money, you have to have money.
That's right. So any other thoughts or questions for Mr. Schultz? Not hearing any, I'll call the vote on that. Let's do roll call.
Anastasio,
Aye.
Bhatia,
Aye.
Washburn,
Aye.
Karas,
Aye.
Venturini,
Aye.
DeGroot.
Aye, motion carries. Looks like under miscellaneous business, we've got approval of excuse me, never mind.
I think you're looking for a motion to
Yeah, I'm
adjourn,
looking at the
Mr.
wrong
Although we
wrong
really
agenda.
enjoy our meetings, and, we could make a couple of trustee reports and, no, I'm
Do
just
you
kidding.
have anything to report?
No, I don't.
All right. In that case, let's look for the last motion.
Motion to adjourn, Mr. President.
Second.
So I hear a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We stand adjourned. Thank you very much, everybody.